she weighs now and his favorite food is sausage with sauté vegetables. That should be all, but the most important thing is that he's preparing to enter the warrior school. And right now, he's considerably disappointed, because even in that school, there are conceited people like her. We think they're much more than they are. She smiled like a psychopath, or hand even trembling with rage. Now he felt the same as Serum. She said she doesn't exactly hate people like him. That is, if he can back up what he said. Since he wanted to transfer that school, he hasn't even taken the exam yet and already behaves like someone who studies there, but he smiled a bit. And asked if that's how she does things. But he's curious to know what she thought, as it was the first time he tried it. He's curious to know from her if it's up to the standard she expected. Now the girl is irritated by the interaction. From a distance, her uncle calls her by name. This is Sang-woo, and he wants to know what the hell they're doing there. He wanted to know why she visited without informing him, as she even took the phone of his hands. It's only been a week since her last incident, just a week. He wants to know if she wants her father to get angry again. The adult apologizes to the two of them, as his niece tends to act on her own. Serum says he doesn't need to apologize, but she's deeply grateful. Since it's all just that clown's nonsense, things aren't that bad. But the rumors are true, she's arrogant and only values those who are strong. Jerry, I asked her to come closer to him. He wanted to know what exactly that annoying girl does, because she doesn't seem like an ordinary senior. She's the president of the student council, in other words. She's simply the strongest student in the entire school right now. Students in these schools receive temporary licenses at gem rank. It can go into dungeons under professional supervision. With this license, students can take advantage of their breaks to explore dungeons. This way, they can gather experience for when they become full-fledged explorers. But there are a few exceptions to this. Those who belong to the student council are seen as professionals, even though they're not officially registered, in addition to having political influence with the school's administration. They can also join attack teams against 5-star or higher monsters. They are what's expected, the next generation of ranked warriors. Since she's in her 3rd year, she's 2 years older than them. That would be the case, but she's still in her 2nd year, and Jerry only wants to know if she failed. That's not it. Actually, she took the position from the previous president, but he wants to know how that could happen. Sarah Mann already told him the school is basically driven by strength and skill. Students can join the council starting in the 1st semester of their 2nd year, and that's what she did. She quickly unsheathed her sword. That's how the school's biggest event happened, and she challenged all the council members. Before the 1st semester ended, she had defeated all of them, becoming the youngest council president in history. Despite everything, she said she was about to leave there. Sarah is relieved that nothing bad happened, but Jeryeon would like to make a bet with her. Since she seems busy, it will be quick. He heard she's famous, and she must have her reasons for being a jerk for no reason. The bet is simple. If he loses, the time slot is hers. Sarah tries to apologize for him, thinking the boy is completely out of his mind. If it's a bet, she has to face a consequence if she doesn't win. He really likes that she's smart and asked if she knows what shadow boxing is. It's a basic form of close combat training. The one who touches their opponent first, or puts them in a disadvantageous position, wins. If he loses, he'll give her the time slot, and it's perfect because there's no risk of a traumatic injury from a hit. Now if she loses the bet, as soon as he enters the school, she should give up her position as president to him. That's one of the craziest things. There's no way she'll accept that proposal. But it's interesting enough, so she ends up accepting the challenge. After hearing this, she even learned the boy's name. Since they couldn't do it in the hallway, they went to a workshop where the durability of the pieces is tested. Both are ready to start. The brat is quite confident she'll win. The same can be said for Jeryeon. Sarah, on the other hand, is very anxious. That's unnecessary, the problem was already resolved. Not to mention, he's badly injured, and even if he wins, she won't give up the position to him. But he says he's not going to win. Now, Sarah doesn't know what to say. Even healthy, he wouldn't stand a chance. She's way too strong. If that's the case, why did he make the bet with her then? But Geryon tells her not to worry. It's normal for her to be confused, but she should trust him more. In the end, it won't be a bad exchange, only Sarah doesn't understand the purpose of it. She thinks he intends to lose to see the good side of her, but it's impossible for him to be that stupid. Her uncle says he has nothing to say except to apologize. He knows she should be a leader, but instead of being receptive, she ends up being harsh with the truth, and he apologizes once more to Sarah, who said it wasn't necessary. All this is only happening because the boy is also hard-headed, but he doesn't agree with what she said. Even though he doesn't know the boy, he can feel he's very confident. Then the brat says he must have already noticed. She won't use both arms, so there will be a bit fairer for him. But that's not important because it will serve as an excuse when she loses. That audacity makes her more interested. So she started preparing her stance. In the blink of an eye, she had already disappeared. He is surprised, preparing to react. He managed to dodge the first attack. It's made both Sarah and the brat's uncle surprised, but for different reasons. Sarah was surprised by the speed of the attack, which was almost imperceptible. In this type of training, someone has to accept the risk of exposing themselves. But Guyan didn't show any hesitation, more fear. She simply executed her attack, with speed to protect her immense pride. Sarah knows that if it were her, she would never have been able to react. Then the tailor breaks the silence. Han doesn't know if he's the first to ask this question. He wants to know if this student is really preparing to transfer to the warrior school. Looking at the data that was sent to him, there's no doubt that the boy is talented. But what he sees with his own eyes is beyond expectations. He too was an adventure. Full of energy. He's aware that Juryang's intention isn't to prove himself, but to learn more about who this person is. Guyun is already very strong for her age, and with a little more experience, she easily be on par with the lower-ranked ones. The boy just wants to get a sense of where he needs to reach. Not only that, but also the distance he needs to cover. And so far he's been able to dodge with mastery. After several blows, he gained a bit of distance. Guyun says it's been a while. Since she entered the school, no one has been able to dodge her attacks for so long. She's impressed by him. She definitely didn't expect him to last this long. His arm isn't the only thing injured. Judging by how he is now, he must be far from his full physical capacity. But Juryang says she hasn't seen him at full capacity yet, and she shouldn't assume that. Speaking more softly, she said she saw. He was pretty fast when he faced the Horn Horror. She watched the video hundreds of times and she's a fan of him, the anonymous hero that no one knows yet. Returning to her normal tumult when she suggested they call it a tie and they could settle this another time. As soon as he enters the school and is healed, they'll continue. Because she doesn't want things to end here. She can go on with her uncle, but Juryang said he doesn't believe those words. That confidence, she still doesn't know what's going on. A tie isn't something he's willing to accept here. Because the student council president position is at stake. Since he doesn't intend to give up, it's better they don't waste more time. He's ready to continue, but the three of them fought the same thing. He's bluffing. He's wasting the best chance he's had so far since the bet started. That's a problem because she likes ambitious people. And when he just showed wasn't ambition, just foolishness. Juryang looks at her with a slight smile and took a few steps toward her. After those words, he was the first to move. Now it's his turn to attack in this fight. Surprisingly, she had to be fully immersed in the moment. Even her uncle didn't expect that. Juryang barely missed hitting her with everything he had. Serum thought he had been holding back this whole time, but that wasn't the case, and the tailor realized he had been completely wrong in his assessment. It wasn't just a test of strength that he sought with Guyun. In that short span of time, he managed to learn and replicate her movements. He's a monster, and it's not about winning or losing here. His intention is to learn Guyun's technique. Finishing his attack, he said that's how she did it. Since he was a smuggler from a young age, he was a rule he followed strictly. She shouldn't keep watching because there's more he wants to see from her.